Welcome to Seeing with Your Soul, a safe and sacred place to be vulnerable, to be transparent, to be authentic. I am your host, Tisha Michelle. From the deep pain and loss of my best friend Gloria, I realized she gave me the greatest gift ever, remembering my purpose in life, which is to help connect you to your authentic self, guide you to remember your purpose, and remind you that your current circumstance doesn't define who you are. Join me as we heal, align, and glow together. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Seeing with Your Soul. I'm your host, Tisha Michelle. So I'm not going to do 3 things that I'm grateful for today. I'll just do one. And I am grateful for the time that we are in right now. The Great Awakening, age of the Aquarius, to some people, the chaos, the uncertainty, whatever it is that you want to call it, the coronavirus, the disruption, the tower crumbling, right? So in this episode, I really don't have anything. Typically, I don't write things out anyway, but I'll have some type of form of a structure. However, I was guided to record another podcast, and I just did one on this, and it went in one direction. As I was driving, all these downloads and things were hitting me, and Spirit was like, record another podcast. You need to record another podcast. So here I am, guys. So hopefully you listened to the first one where I talked about this, the time that we're in right now, and just tips and suggestions of what you can do to really embrace like what's going on in the time inside, the social distancing, the flatten the curve, the quarantine, whatever it is that you want to call it, right? So many people are in fear right now. And what happens is when we have change or we have something new, no matter what it is, whether it's just individually, as a group, or just as a collective humanity, people freak out and people are in fear. And this is not to judge any of you that are in fear. It's what you resort to, right? It's what you resort to when something is different, when the rug was pulled from underneath you, when the lights get turned off, you're afraid, you freak out, you panic. And you know what? It's up to all of us to love everyone where they are and not judge them for the way that they are acting, right? Right? To not judge them for it. So are we seeing people's characteristics come out and people hoarding things and people fighting over all this stuff? While I will say that behavior is awful, I cannot condemn them and just overly judge them for that. So it's not to give people a pass, right? It's to have some level of compassion for people who are freaking out and send them even more love and light. Right. And somebody said to me, I have so many things that people are saying to me that's just sparking so much. So someone said, oh my God, I can't wait for things to get back to normal. They won't go back to the normal that we were used to, because the normal that we were used to, it didn't work. It did not work. Look at our air being polluted. Look at the land that's being polluted. Look at all the greed that's from the higher ups, right? And the disruption and even with housing, right? Someone told me that they were in California and that there was a house that was under 600 square feet or something, and it was going for $800,000. Why? Crazy. They just suspended HIPAA, right? So they suspended HIPAA and saying that we can do telehealth, right? It should have been like that. They're saying now that the doctors, even though you're not licensed in one state, you're able to help if needed in another state without, getting penalized. It should have already been like that. Why did we have to control everything, right? There were people who went to jail because they were homeless and didn't have an address and had their children being registered at another school, and they got in trouble for it. And guess what now? School is out. They're saying, go home, get online. Right? People made fun of kids and parents who homeschooled their children. And my kids are homeschooled now. They've been homeschooled for a year. But even before, I was one of them that thought that was weird. What is that even all about? And now I'm like, oh my God, it's amazing, right? So it's like the school system is one of the biggest systems that I personally believe is broken. It is broken. Kids go to school and they're told to fall in line and be quiet. They sit in a classroom for hours without movement, without any sun, without any nature, anything. And they're being taught what they want, whoever they is, right? They want them to learn. They give them options for language and they don't give them all the options, all the different languages. And I get that you can't have all of them, but come on, can we get a bigger variety, right? And that's a system that needs to be tweaked. It needs to be fixed. And now we have the opportunity to teach our children, to open them up to more than what the school was giving them. I remember seeing when we would have the mass shootings, right, at the schools, and everybody like, oh, I just went and picked my kid up early and I just wanted to love on them and I just wanted to spend so much time with them, and that's great. And now the kids are home. People are complaining. You're complaining. Think about it. Think about this, guys. When there were those mass shootings, you thought of your children and you were afraid and everything. And now you have the opportunity to have your kids at home and now you're complaining about it. No, talk to your kids. Have a conversation with your kids. Say, what would you like to learn? What have you been curious about? Oh, do you want to learn a language? What language do you want to learn? Open them up, expose them to more than what the school is giving them. Maybe they want to inquire about history, the history that's not being taught in school. Ask them that. What are you curious about, guys? Use this opportunity to expose your children to even more. Let them learn another language, a language that's not even offered in school, because actually what they got to wait until middle school, right? Start working on them now. If you have like elementary kids, like my youngest 2 children, I told them, you have to learn a language, but you get to choose the language that you want to learn. So the 14-year-old said French and the 9-year-old said Spanish. Done. Did my research, got them on the apps. Done. Now this is what they're learning. Because I do feel like it opens you up when you learn another language. That's just, one of the things that I'm saying. But, then there were people, and I know personally, who got in trouble because they didn't have any transportation and the kids, were missing like school and they got in trouble for it. But now they're like, oh, everybody go home. We're closing all the schools and we could teach you from home. So that's always been an option that they said that it wasn't. It's always been an option, right? So the times that we are in right now, it's deeper and bigger than the coronavirus. Now, do I believe that the coronavirus is real? Absolutely. I know I have a friend who one of her good friends has it, right? So for me, that made it a lot more real because I know someone that this is what they diagnosed them with based on their symptoms and the testing. That's what they have, right? So I do believe that it is real, but it is bigger than the virus. If you look at it, everything is being shaken up. Everything that we relied on externally is being taken away. It's all being taken away. Do you remember when Colin Kaepernick, he was kneeling and everybody went batshit crazy about it and it was like, this is disrespectful. How are you doing this to the flag? How are you going to do this to our games? It's all this and that was so disrespectful. And it was this whole crazy thing. Guess what? There's no games right now. The energy as a collective is heavy and is forceful energy, because guess what it's doing? It's forcing all of us to look at our shit, everything. So a lot of times what we end up doing is we mask what's going on in our life or in the world, and we use distractions, right? We go to bars, we go to restaurants, right? We're socializing and because we can't keep still, right? Because we don't want to think and we want to look at our shit. Guess what? You're being forced to look at your shit. Every one of us, me included, being forced to look at our shit and say, whoa, this isn't working. What are some other options? Oh my gosh. Finances, people who aren't in a position to be able to buy food to last for 2 weeks, right? Or however long. Some people don't have that. They don't have that. Okay, so why don't we have that? Let's look at things on a deeper level. Where, prioritizing, where are we spending our money? Have we even tried to save? And this is not for everyone because some people just don't have it. But again, it's forcing you to look at it and say, okay, I'm not even in a position to have 2 weeks worth of food. I have to make changes in my life. I have to make changes. And where do I need to make these changes at? So this is not to judge anyone at all. So I'm not coming from that standpoint. I'm coming from the standpoint of being forced to look at your shit and make the necessary changes. Start to co-create your reality. Say, whoa, this shit's not working right here for me. I don't want to be in a situation like this anymore. So how can I make changes? And I talked about it on the other podcast where I said not everybody is meant to be an entrepreneur, and that's okay. But we are meant to figure out other ways to use our talents and gifts that we all have. Let's bring them out now. Let's bring them out and let's use them. And how else can we, even if it's not even drumming up money, however, how can you make your own soap? How can you make, what it was like 2.5 years ago, I was like, I just randomly, it was late at night. I was like, I want to learn how to make soap. I got on YouTube. I started Googling, looking up all this stuff, and went to Walmart because that was the only thing open. And I got me some things, and then I ordered some stuff on Amazon, and I taught myself to make soap. And it wasn't because I wanted to make soap so I could not spend the money on it. It just popped into my head, but I get it now why. I get it. So, make your own soap, make your own laundry detergent, make your own hand sanitizer. These are some of the things that we can do that we don't then have to spend the money on it, right? Because we'll buy the things to make our own, and we'll get to have it in bulk. So that saves us money right there. Like, how else can we be, resourceful with what things are? Bank systems, right? Banks are going to be different after this. Healthcare is going to be different after this. The actual earth is going to be different after this, because guess what it's doing now? It's able to breathe because there's not a lot of flights, right? Not a lot of flights. So all the things that's polluting, the air and our energy and all of that gets to breathe. It gets to breathe. It absolutely gets to breathe. So I've had someone, reach out to me and said, like, what are you doing to keep calm in all of this? I said, what I've always been doing, for the past 2 years and what I've been talking about. I said, I've been going within. I've been meditating. I had someone send me a message and said, like, I know you mentioned this a couple of times about meditating. So what's that all about again? Oh, okay. All right. And it doesn't, I'm not coming from this place of like, now you want to reach out. My heart is so full right now that people are reaching out to me saying like, hey, like, what can I do? What was this that you were talking about? What's this great awakening? I had someone reach out to me and send me a message and said, have you ever had this feeling that everything is just going to be okay? I said, yeah, all the time. She said, yeah, I've had it twice already. And I said, because it is. Everything's going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. Things have to crumble in order for it to be rebuilt on a firm foundation, So the universe said, enough is enough, guys. Enough is enough. And then there's so many people freaking out because they have to stay inside. Because you know what? When you stay inside, you have to go within and you start thinking. And then you have to face your shit. You have to face your shadows, right? And people are going batshit crazy about that. And I was one of those people at one point where I couldn't even ride in the car without talking on the phone to someone or without the radio being on, because it was going to force me to think. And I didn't want to think about my shit, because when I thought about my shit, it made it real, right? And now I live for this shit. I live for it, because when you go within and you face these things, your shadows, the things that you just don't want to deal with, you then take away the power and you realize like, holy shit, I'm bigger than this. I'm bigger than this. So I want to let you guys all know, like, this shit is not even real. And when I say that, what I mean by that is that it's real because we are experiencing it, but it's not true because none of this stuff defines who we really are. It just doesn't. So many of us have been relying on all of the external things. And guess what? All of those things are being taken away. So if you ever heard me or anybody else say everything that you need is within you, people are going to now start to really understand what that means. Or when we say stop looking for the external to validate things and you need to go within, because look, we relied on the external for so long. People don't know how to act. They don't know how to think. They don't know how to operate. They're like, what the fuck is going on? Holy shit. I didn't think this could happen to us over here. I thought stuff like this only happens over there. Why? Why did you think that? Why did you think that it couldn't happen to us? If something can happen once anywhere with any person, it can happen again. And guess what? Now we've got this big shakeup. And honestly, this is not to scare anyone. And this is my beliefs and things that I've just received and stuff. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. So if you are operating from a place of fear, it is weakening your immune system. It is breeding more fear. And I understand you guys are afraid and you don't know what to do. And you don't know what to do. And I'm just asking all of you guys to take a step back. Get off of social media, because fear breeds fear. And all the people start posting all the stuff and you start freaking out. And just take a step back and breathe. Just breathe. Get your thoughts together. Get your thoughts together and you will understand, and you will start to receive the solutions to things that you perceive as being problems for you. You will start to get resourceful. You will start to understand what's important and what's not so important. But the only way for you to do that is for you to create the space. Create the space to really start to make your sense to this. Sense of it like from within you, right? Think about how we've forgotten so much about the elderly. I've always had this thing for elderly people and children, always. And I never really understood it. My heart just went out so much to them. And it was really interesting because one of my biggest fears at one point, a long time in my life, was I feared getting old and dying. And then I opened a home care agency and I was surrounded by nothing but old people and death. And I was like, am I punking myself? And I never really understood it until until my awakening began. And then I said, oh, I get it now. First of all, what I didn't realize I was doing was I was facing my fear. I was afraid of getting old and dying. And guess what? I faced it head on because that was my company. That's what I was all around. And when I faced it head on, I took the power away from it. And I understood what a beauty and what a gift it is to grow old. And then I also understood that when you die, it's just a physical death, but my energy is still here. And it continues and it can't die. But that's what it's like when you face your fear. So I want you guys to, when you're creating this space, think about it. You can journal this. You can say it out loud, whatever resonates and works for you. What is your greatest fear? What is your biggest fear? And I want you to face it head on. Message me. Send me a message on, go to my website, healalignedandglow.com, or on Instagram at Mindset Slayer. Send me a message. Say, hey, this is my greatest fear. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the stories that you're making up in your head around it. And let's strip the power away from it. This is the best time right now to create whatever it is that you want to create. It might just be space. It might just be peace. It might be just that you turn off all the TV, you turn off social media, and you just go to sleep because you know what? You're tired. Your soul's tired. You've been work, stress. Disconnect from everything and go to fuck to sleep. Go get you a coloring book, right? Go and color and just focus on that. And in that moment, what's important is you being able to color outside the line, because you don't have to color inside the line. That's just what we were told, that we had to color inside the line. You can color the fuck outside that line. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. Again, Go clean your house. Go clean your house. And the thing is that when I'm saying doing these things, these are all opportunities to create space. These are the opportunities to calm yourself down, to allow the universe, God, whatever you relate to, your higher power, to drop in some solutions for you personally. So we are in this great awakening. We are in this age of the Aquarius where things are crumbling in order to rebuild because it's what's needed. Because this shit has been going on for too long. Too freaking long. But guess what? You're not alone. We're all going through this. But then we have certain people, we call them light workers, such as myself, that this is what we incarnated for, to be a part of this. Because we've never experienced any of this before in this lifetime, right? So we came here for this. I came here for this, to be able to help guide people along the way, to help show people that there's another perspective. There is something else that you can do. You don't have to freak out. You could just sit there and breathe. You can sit there and just trust. You can get creative. You can really tap into who you really are. How many people have been complaining about their jobs and hate their jobs, and when Monday rolls around, hate going to work? Guess what? You're at home now. You don't even have that job. That's a blessing. You may feel like it's awful because you don't have any money, but no, it's pushing you to do what you really want to do. And when you step into your true self and you get into that place of alignment and you're feeding your soul, everything else in your life starts to fall in place. Everything, just by feeding your soul. So many people's souls are fragmented, which are in pieces, because we're doing all these things that aren't in alignment. This is why we don't feel good. This is why we hate Mondays. We're blaming it on a Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you still have the same goddamn job. It ain't no difference on Monday. Again, somebody put that into their head for Mondays. Mondays are amazing for me. I don't even do sessions on Mondays. I don't do sessions on Mondays. Sundays and Mondays, I don't do sessions because those are just my things. I love Mondays. I love every day, but Mondays are dope. Now that I'm in school for a holistic health coach, the new modules come out on Monday. So I see why now I didn't do sessions on Monday. Didn't know then why it is, because now I'm going to be doing my school stuff on Monday. So it's super exciting. So you don't have to hate Mondays. You don't have to hate your life. You don't have to hate anything. You just got to make the decision that you're ready to change. So the universe gave us a nudge, a big nudge, and forced us all that we have to be still, and took away all these things that we rely heavily on. And don't get me started on this toilet paper shit. What is that? That doesn't even make any sense. If you really think about it, it makes no goddamn sense. We don't need toilet paper. So guess what? A lot of people's belief systems are being shattered, broken. Throw that shit away. The belief that we need toilet paper. Why do we need toilet paper? use the bathroom, hop your ass in the shower, which is actually even better. And we haven't always had toilet paper. Many years ago, there was no toilet paper. But again, this is buying into this hype, buying into this fear of hoarding all the toilet paper. What are you going to do with the toilet paper when you don't have no fucking food? You can't eat toilet paper. So many people's beliefs are being shattered. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing because it's been controlling us. It's been controlling us. So even though coming from a financial standpoint, I'm nowhere near where I would love to be, but I feel amazing. In the midst of all this, I have this sense of peace, this sense of calmness. And I wouldn't trade that for anything. I feel good and I feel like everything's going to be okay because I know everything is going to be okay. And that's a place that I haven't always been. But I've been training for this my whole life, going through all the experiences and having even to, back in August, making the decision to move from Virginia to Arizona and not knowing how I was going to pay for anything, how I was going to eat, where I was going to live. But I had to step out on faith. And this is no bullshit. You can ask people that are, not that you know them, but people that are close to me, they know the real deal. This is not one of those things where you say like, oh, I didn't have anything, but you really did. No, I didn't. I didn't know where we were going to sleep. I didn't know how we were going to have food. I didn't know shit. I didn't even know how I was going to have the gas to make it 30 hours. But I kept listening to that voice within me that said, go. Trust. And I did. Scared as shit, but felt liberated when I got on that interstate. And guess what? I've been in the same place since I got here. And everything started working out. But it was because I had faith and I trusted. And I didn't trust in the outside. There was nothing external for me because I didn't even have the fucking money for the shit. I didn't have anything to trust in. But Spirit opened up the way for me. All I had to do was just trust and know that everything is going to be okay. So that's what I'm pleading to you guys is that, yes, you're going to be in fear. Yes, you're going to cry. Yes, you're going to be mad and scared. And guess what? They're your feelings and you are A-okay to feel them. Absolutely. If you need to scream, you need to cry, you need to run around, whatever you need to do, feel it, own them. They are your feelings, but please do not stay in them. Do not stay in those feelings. Because all it's going to do is keep your vibration low and you are only going to be attracting things that are on that vibration. So you feel them, you get sad and all that stuff. And then you say, okay, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. What now? If you relate and you say, God, what are my next steps? Show me my next steps, but just trust and understand. And my heart goes out to each and every one of you. This is something new. It's changed. It happens. We have to go with the cycles of life. It's just what it is, right? And again, this is not to downplay anything because I understand it's an uncertain time, but I know that everything is going to be okay. And no, it is not going to go back to normal because that normal shit that we had didn't fucking work. And you want to know how it didn't work? Look at the chaos it's causing now because we were all so worried and relying on the external shit that when all of that shit was taken away, we don't know what to do. We don't know how to survive. I've heard people would laugh at people because there's no way I couldn't grow my own food. Those people are good right now. They're good. They're growing their own food. People are making their own supplies. I don't do that, making their own supplies. People have been building up their immune system so that they're able to fight off anything that comes their way. The people who would sit there and talk about eating healthier and going more towards the fruits and the vegetables, right? People were like, I love this, I love that. And that's okay. And that's not to judge anyone in that saying I'm guilty of it. I will slide my ass through a drive-through in a heartbeat and I'd be like, can I have a medium Coke and a large order of fries? And that would be my thing. And that still has been my thing at times, right? But that was my thing because it was a comfort food for me. Because anytime that I was having a problem, I didn't want to face the problem. But guess what the solution was? Go to McDonald's and get a Coke and some fries and it's going to make everything all better. And it didn't. What made it better was when I was feeling not in alignment and a problem was going on, I fucking faced it. I faced that shit. That's what I did. I faced it. And even though it was uncomfortable and I was like, holy shit, and looking at it, I took the power away from it. But again, it didn't happen overnight, guys. And I'm not saying that this is going to happen overnight for all of you. It didn't happen overnight. It did not happen overnight. I've been training for this my whole life, going through all these experiences. But the last 2 years was that shift. that shifted me to look at a different perspective. And I had to go through all those experiences. I had to go through losing my best friend to wake me up to say, like, what the fuck is going on? Whoa. There has to be more to life than this. And then I was shown that it is. And I had to been gone through those 2 years of everything, of consuming the energy, consuming the downloads, the research and everything to come to this point right now, the Great Awakening, the age in the Aquarius, so that I can be at peace with what's going on right now, so I can help each and every one of you guys. Each and every one of you guys. So I've always said when I speak and I teach, it's always coming from a place of experience. And now it makes all the goddamn sense in the world. A year ago this time, I was in LA and I was filming the show. And I was on the airplane. I was in that in-between sleep stage, and which is where I get most of my downloads. And I heard the revolution is coming. And I opened my eyes and I looked over, and in my mind, I was like, yo, did y'all hear that shit too? And I said that the revolution is coming on. So I got off of the plane and I started Googling, what does revolution mean? What's the spiritual meaning of revolution? Like, am I missing something? And for the love of me, I couldn't figure out what was that message. And it always stuck with me. I'm like, I don't know what that means, Spirit. I don't know what that means. And the reason why I didn't get it even clearer, because I needed to go deeper to tap into my spirituality so that I'm able to get these messages clearly. And I didn't get it. But now when I think back to this past year, and it was this month, and the only reason why I know that was because a memory popped up on Facebook. And it was a picture that I posted when I was in LA. And I said, holy shit, a year ago, I got a download about this. And then in between, little things was popping up. So much energy was on China. And I was like, why you keep giving me the message about China? What does that even mean? Do I got to go to China? What am I going to China for? Just that logical part, right? And I was getting all these messages to lead up to that this was coming. And I wasn't just getting it clear, but my guides were giving me the message. There's so many people who predicted this. Some people predicted about like it being some type of flu and stuff, but there was so many, especially the astrologers and stuff. I mean, I can go back to 2004 where there was a lady who predicted this. And you know what? And some people always say, oh, it's conspiracy theorists. No, we're getting stuff from the divine because we're not meant to be left out here in the cold. There's a lot of us that incarnated this time to be able to help with this happening. So when you see the people who are coming from a spiritual part and they say, oh, this is going to happen or do this, do that, just step back and look. Just step back and just open your mind and stuff, because we were placed here for that, to help people along the way. It's our role. We all came here for a purpose, and we all have unique gifts and talents. And now it's time for us to use them. Now it's time for, you guys to really tap into who the hell you are. Let these gifts emerge and see where your role in all of this is. So I wanted to come on here because Spirit told me to come on here now and do this for you guys. So just know when I say that I'm sending love and light to each and every one of you, I am. You need me to hold space, I got you. You need to talk, send me a message. I have a lot of my clients now who are like, hey, I need to get that session now. I need to make some sense of it. So I'm not too busy to talk to anyone. I'm just having to spread it out because the energy is very, very heavy. And being like this, so sensitive to the energy, I'm tired a lot. But again, I was getting all the messages that I needed to protect my health. I needed to drink more water. I needed to eat better. And guess what? I was neglecting it. And now I know why I was getting all those. I said, why do you keep talking about my health? I'm good. But it's for this moment because my energy is being depleted. My energy is being drained. And this is my vessel, my only vessel, right? My body that's here. And Spirit has been telling me for months and months and months to protect it and to take care of myself so that I would be able to help you guys. I didn't know that's why, but now I get it because I'm feeling the fatigue. So I'm saying all that to say is I'm here for you guys. Reach out to me and I will do the best that I can. And when I'm getting like all of the same questions and stuff, as I'm posting more on Instagram, I'm showing up more there so I can show up for you guys. So again, love and light to each and every one of you guys. Bye guys. Thanks for tuning in to #certified. If anything resonated with you, I would love to continue the conversation. You can follow me on Instagram @itistisha. And if you want to be a part of the #certified tribe, you can join my Facebook group by going to the search tab and putting in #certified. My website is conversationswithtisha.com. As always, have a great one on purpose. Love you.